reaction you've had when you said no thanks? I don't want to have sex. I got a 45-minute lecture about how that makes her feel terrible about her body and how I'm basically emotionally abusing her by not wanting to have sex with her. We're no longer together. Thankfully. How can someone go on a 45-minute lecture without even accidentally coming across the thought of I mean, if I were to turn down sex for you? That. Oh. How little introspective ability can someone have? Even if she had managed to get some dong with that, wouldn't that make it so that she would forever have a niggling doubt in the back of her head that he might have agreed to boning just because he doesn't want to hurt her fragile self-esteem? Me and my girlfriend broke up mutually. I woke up around 4 in the morning to her in my clothes in bed with me begging to have sex. I say no. Then she proceeds to drunkenly puke all over my possessions. 1/10 never do again. She bent forward and said very loudly, "Do you want sex?" to my crotch. That sounds ducking hilarious. Do you want sex? So I don't know what was up with this girl, but she wanted in my pants probably more than was healthy. I turned her down on several occasions and usually she accepted it with grace and composure. I never ended up having sex with her, and one day when I was propositioned by her she just freaked out, and what went from a weird friendship turned into full out beach fest on me, her saying that I was leading her on this whole time. Making her think I wanted to date her. Keeping her out of the dating world. And basically just being a dong. I was later explained by one of our mutual friends that she apparently thought that I was being nice to her because I liked her and that I teamed with her online because I wanted to go on dates with her. Turned out she had this whole relationship fantasy about us that was never real and I was oblivious to it the whole time. Ducking anime protagonists. I had the exact scenario play out with a girl. But in high school, long before online gaming. So, exact might be a strong word. But she had developed this whole thing that we were going to be together because I was nice to her when she came into the store I worked at. When I finally turned her down for a date, she freaked out. Told the whole school I was a dong and a loser, true. But still. That I was leading her on. Etc. It actually went a step further. For about a month when she knew I was at my job she'd call my mom and chat about me. Telling my mom she was my GF. My weird ass mom never told me she was calling. Until I happened to go through the caller ID and my mom was like, "It's Debbie. Your girlfriend. She's nice. You think I'm ugly so I'm going to kill myself? No. I'm exhausted from your texts fighting with me while I'm at work. Doing work at work. Dealing with you being sad because I want 20 minutes to myself and your previous half dozen suicide threats today." Holy shit, we both dated her, didn't we? We all did. Had been working at a new bar for a couple of months. One of the waitresses who had a rep for sleeping with new doormen gets hammered and can't drive home. I take her home. Walk her into her house. Put her on the couch and put a blanket over here. As I'm leaning down putting the blanket over her, she grabs my shirt and tries pulling me down to kiss her. I tell her she's drunk. So no thanks. And then she proceeds to tell everyone at work I'm gay for the next 6 months because I wouldn't take advantage of her while she was drunk. Opposite to this. I met a girl. Got hammered with her. Slept next to her fully clothed. Next morning. She thanked me for not taking advantage. No problem. I says. We dated for a while after that. 10/10 would not rape again. Dude, I love it when I don't rape girls. It's the best feeling, isn't it? I've had a glass of vodka poured on me and told that I was an ass for leading her on. I didn't lead her on, I was having normal conversation with her. She was drunk and I wasn't. r/Nisegurals. As S fan of r/Niseguis. Can't believe I never looked for this. But you, or someone else, could start something like r/Redditness for nice. Subscribers could challenge themselves to match the undateable, the unduckable, and the unlovable. My ex-girlfriend showed up at my apartment at 2 AM completely shit-faced telling me she needed to sleep it off at my house. Being that I didn't want to see her kill herself or someone else driving, I let her crash in my bed and I take the couch. As I am trying to sleep, she wanders out to the living room completely nude telling me she wants me to come to bed. I tell her that I will absolutely not sleep in bed with her and whatever she had in mind would not be happening. Being that she was not a very rational woman while we were together and she was sober, it escalated to her screaming at me and how I am going to regret denying her. At one point she mentions that unless I come to bed with her she is going to contact the police and tell them I raped her. I take this time to grab my car keys and leave immediately with her screaming at me all the way down the stairs. I decided to sleep at my dad's and not return to the apartment. Luckily she never tried anything and never contacted me again. Last I heard she was living across the country. The threat of being falsely accused seems really terrifying. Really difficult to get people to believe you if they say so. And can actually get you legally punished. Yo, I got very lucky that she didn't try anything as we were the only ones at my apartment. She had a half crying half angry crisis. Kept asking if it was something she did or if there was someone else or if I was sick and ranting about how no guy says no to sex. You're mad about something. All I could think the whole time is, I have to never ever react like this if someone tells me they don't want to have sex. This is just embarrassing. Just imagine if a guy broke down like that asking for sex. The collective internet would come down on him and call him a pansy. Exactly. It's weird and pretty gross one way or the other. What? Do you think you're better than me? Yelled at me. In public. Yes. I didn't. But after that outburst. Yes. So that's how that feels. That's how I came out as gay. Both half naked. Sorry. I can't do this. I just confirmed I'm gay. As a guy, I would imagine that would absolutely obliterate a girl's confidence. I was seeing a girl off and on. And she texted and wanted me to come over and then go grab a drink. I drove over to her apartment and when she opened the door she was falling over drunk. I went in and poured myself a drink. And sat on the couch. She sat right beside me. And put her hands all over me and under my shirt. Slurring and talking super close. Her teeth stained grey by the red wine. I just was really put off by it. I told her I didn't feel like having sex and she blew up crying and got angry and mean. Saying that men can never say no and how can you do this to me? I calmed her down and told her I wanted to go home and just wasn't in the mood for this. Or drinking in general. She asked me to take her to the bar so I dropped her off. She was usually a pretty respectable person. I didn't judge her harshly. Drinking can make people irrational and emotional. God, I hope the bartender just handed her ice water with a lime. I got shoved against a wall and a hand forced down my pants. So sexually assaulted. Actually, no. According to a couple of my friends and one of the therapists I saw afterwards, men can't be sexually assaulted. I wish I was ducking joking. I literally had to install a lock on my bedroom door and the first night I locked it she battled it for like 4 hours and was screaming open the goddamn door. And I'm not going to rape you. Door stayed locked. I'm not going to rape you sounds just like rape. I'm not gonna rape you, I just want to force you to have sex with me. PLS open. In our 20s me and my friends liked to hit up this local dive bar. Drinks were poured strong and cheap. Decent beer selection. And not crowded at all. Since it was a bit divey we were usually the youngest by a generation. This one night some old woman that was either experimenting with the wet hair look or was getting her wet every 10 minutes, not entirely sure, took a drunken liking to me. After I refused her a few times she say something like if you don't loosen up you'll be a virgin forever, pulls her shirt up to flash me as a look what you're missing I guess and storms off. Bartender poured me a free one so I got a beer out of it at least. And say goodbye to these. I never wanted to say hello. I was okay with never having to say goodbye. If you don't have sex with me, I'm going to get out of this car and walk home. I don't even know where I am so I'll probably die. The next day, her body was found in a small clearing. I guess she really showed me in the end. I got drugged later that night. What happened after that? Well, I blacked out. Woke up in her bed and was relayed from mutual friends that she spiked my drink at one of the bars we were at. After I made it explicit I didn't want anything to do with her. She was dating someone but wanted a side piece, which I obliged previously but realized how ducked up it was. I was in shock the next morning and just got dressed and left. You don't say no to a half naked girl. No, I do. I really do. I feel like I've wrote this before more than once, so I'll Coles notes it. Went out with friends. Very open crowd. Went to bedroom with girl. While making out she says no. I stop. She starts stuff again. Says no when I move to do more. I stop. Pulls me back again. Clothes off. Things go farther. She says no again. I get up. Get dressed and exit room. She's upset. People ask, rightfully, what the duck happened. She tells them exactly what happens and they got mad at me saying that's just how she plays. She was into consensual. Non-consensual play. I say something along the lines of what's a game to you is 5-10 for me and a dread I'd take to the grave. The women there then questioned my sexuality and made fun of me for the remainder of the night. Jesus. Non-con play is something you do when the rules of the game have been explained and agreed on and everyone's on board. It's not cool to just spring it on someone like that. No matter what role you like to play. It says lack of maturity, boundaries and awareness. Someone that read one book on BDSM or saw 50 Shades of Ick. In college. Had a few trysts that ended badly. Decided to take it slow on the next one. Hung out with a girl one Saturday while we were both pretty drunk. Made out on my bed. She started taking her clothes off and I said, "Not yet." She screamed at me. She said that I basically told her that she was hideous. She never talked to me again. Spread rumors that I was gay. Every time I would meet a new woman, she would meet with them privately and lie about me. Didn't really have much luck with ladies the rest of college. She said that I basically told her that she was hideous. She never talked to me again. Spread rumors that I was gay. Oh yeah. I had a few of these in college. When I started being labeled gay or asexual or whatever, I was just dumbfounded. I'd never imagined that this sort of scene would happen. Last girl I dated was pretty attractive visually. And when she got shit-faced on our first date, note to self. Warning flag, I had to drive her home. TLDR. Planeswalker scenario all over again. But with more volume. Flying objects and a half-naked woman and nothing but a stupid expensive corset demanding to know what my major malfunction is in a small apartment building at 1 AM. Why did I keep seeing her? Oh. Yeah. She was pretty and I was shallow enough to overlook the elephants in the room. When I started being labeled gay or asexual or whatever, I was just dumbfounded. You want me to deal with her? No one will ever know it was the asexual ninja. You know why? Because you never see me coming. The craziest reactions would be them not taking no for an answer. And persistently kept asking. Thinking that would wear me down. And honestly, they did wear me down. Did you, caveman? You had me thinking caveman was a euphemism for doing it. She started pouting and said, "Fine then, I'm going to stop sending you pictures and talking dirty to you." I said that's probably a good idea. I don't think your boyfriend would like you doing that anyway. Now can we please just watch Flubber? Or he'll go home. Your call. After seeing I was annoyed, she tried the I'm sorry route. And started trying to cuddle up and undo my belt again. I said apparently we couldn't be friends and went home. And finished watching Flubber alone. Can we please just watch Flubber? This man has his priorities straight. You have my utmost respect. Thanks. I hadn't seen the movie in ages and was excited to watch it. She swung at me. She missed. I tried to close the door. She shoved her leg through. With the gap available between frame and door with her thigh there. She popped me in the face. I ripped the door open and Sparta kicked her ass into the wall across my door and slammed the door. She called the cops. Other roomie recorded it all unbeknownst to me and gave the cops the footage. She had to leave and was handed a 30-day to evict. Several life lessons were learned that everyone should learn. Just because I slept with you once doesn't mean I will again. Especially when I felt like I had to check for a pulse halfway through. Never sleep with your roommates. Ever. Seriously. Don't go swinging on someone regardless of gender and not expect it to be reciprocated. Equal rights. Equal lefts. Your roomie saved your hide. She was caught assaulting you on camera first and only got evicted. If you were caught assaulting her first, you'd be jailed. It's not equal. Men are generally presumed guilty. OMG, are you gay? No. I just don't want to have sex with you. No, but if I have sex with you I'm afraid I'll turn gay. Shit. I'm borrowing this one. Short story. I got hit with crowbar. Long story. She said okay. We walked back to my place. I guess she was still thinking it might happen there. Not at hers. A loony came charging out of his house screaming about us throwing snowballs at his door. We hadn't, and whacked me with a crowbar in the ribs. She stopped him before he hit me again. Don't really remember how, and just then the police he'd already called turned up. Got me to hospital. 2 broken ribs. 1 cracked. 1 collapsed lung. GF did say. When she visited me next day. It was all my own fault for not staying and ducking her. P. What did the police do about the guy that hit some random person with a crowbar? Oh. He was detained under the Mental Health Act 1983, sectioned, so was never charged as far as I know. I left uni the next year so no idea what happened to him long term. On our date, she had gotten drunk while I had stayed sober. When I got her back to her place, she wanted to do it. But I don't roll that way. She got pretty upset and said I have to do her. Along with some other fairly presumptive things. And she was incredibly persistent. I eventually got her to accept that it wasn't happening that night. And I got her to go to bed. Not that crazy in the grand scheme of things. She and I ended up dating for a year or so. And she was generally a very kind and caring person. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.